Dash. Comprehensive Plan for the Eradication of Fundamentalist Arab Terrorist Mechanisms in Western Countries. Our introduction. As observed in El Salvador, where the president has successfully eradicated crime by circumventing numerous legal barriers, it becomes evident that decisive and uncompromising action is crucial. The president ignored global and local legal constraints, leading to a remarkable decrease in crime. This approach should be mirrored in our fight against fundamentalist Arab terrorists. A tri-continental coalition is essential for this mission, as the global community must recognize the imminent disaster threatening our world. The events of October 7th in Israel mark the beginning of World War III, signaling the urgent need for a pragmatic, strategic, and tri-continental collaboration involving Western countries, including France, the United States, the United Kingdom, Japan, and even China. The rationale for eradication. 1. Global security. Enhancing global security by reducing the threat of terrorist attacks. 2. Protection of innocent lives. Safeguarding civilians worldwide from terrorist violence. 3. Stability in the Middle East, promoting peace and stability in the region. 4. Prevention of radicalization, diminishing recruitment and radicalization efforts. 5. Economic stability, encouraging economic growth by mitigating the disruptive impact of terrorism. 6. Preservation of human rights, upholding human rights by preventing terrorist atrocities. 7. Combating extremism, promoting moderate, peaceful ideologies. 8. International cooperation, strengthening alliances and cooperation among nations. 9. Reducing refugee crises, enabling people to live safely in their own countries, thereby reducing refugee movements. 10. Law and order, restoring and maintaining legal systems and societal order. 11. Safeguarding democracies, protecting democratic institutions and values. 12. Cultural preservation, preventing the destruction of cultural and historical sites. 13. Humanitarian efforts, ensuring that aid reaches those in need without hindrance. 14. Global tourism, encouraging tourism and economic growth by reducing the threat of attacks. 15. Countering narcotics, trade, targeting terrorist groups involved in the global drug trade. 16. Environmental protection, promoting environmental conservation by protecting ecosystems. 17. Preventing cyber terrorism, safeguarding critical infrastructure and personal data. 18. Education and progress, ensuring access to education and promoting societal progress. 19. Fostering innovation, encouraging technological and scientific advancements by creating stable environments. 20. Moral imperative, fulfilling a moral obligation to combat terrorism and protect human dignity. Chapter 1. The importance of intelligence gathering and mapping. Role of intelligence in counter-terrorism. Intelligence is the cornerstone of any successful counter-terrorism strategy. Accurate, timely intelligence allows for the identification of terrorist threats, understanding their operations, and planning effective countermeasures. The capture of Osama bin Laden, for example, underscored the critical role of intelligence in neutralizing key terrorist figures. Establishing a global intelligence network. Building a global intelligence network is essential for comprehensive counterterrorism efforts. This involves 1. Collaboration among Western intelligence agencies. Sharing information and resources among agencies like the CIA, MI6, and Mossad to create a unified front against terrorism. 2. Role of international partners. Engaging with non-Western allies to gain a broader perspective and additional intelligence sources. Technological surveillance. Advanced technologies play a crucial role in intelligence gathering. These include 1. Cybersecurity measures, protecting intelligence operations from cyber attacks. 2. Technological surveillance tools, utilizing drones, satellites, and advanced communication interception techniques. 3. Case studies. Examples like the use of drones to monitor and track terrorist activities in remote areas. Financial tracking. Disrupting the financial networks that support terrorism is vital. This involves 1. Monitoring financial channels, using technologies to track money transfers and identify suspicious transactions. 2. International cooperation, collaborating with financial institutions worldwide to freeze terrorist assets. 3. Examples. Cases where financial tracking has led to the disruption of terrorist plots. Human intelligence, imminent. While technology is crucial, human intelligence remains indispensable. This includes 1. Training and deployment of operatives, preparing agents to infiltrate terrorist networks. 2. Success stories and challenges. Instances where imminent has provided critical information and the difficulties faced in such operations. Chapter 2. Identification and elimination of key targets. Necessity of targeted eliminations. Eliminating key terrorist leaders can significantly weaken terrorist organizations. This strategy has been effective in various counter-terrorism efforts, as seen in the targeted killings of high-ranking ISIS and Al-Qaeda members. Special operations. Special forces play a crucial role in these eliminations. This involves 1. Training and deployment, preparing elite units for precision operations. 2. Planning and execution, detailed planning to ensure the success of operations with minimal collateral damage. 3. Case studies. Successful operations, such as the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. Precision airstrikes. Airstrikes, particularly those using drones, are essential for eliminating targets in inaccessible areas. This involves 1. Technological advancements, use of precision-guided munitions to reduce collateral damage. 2. Legal and ethical considerations, ensuring operations comply with international laws and minimize harm to civilians. International cooperation. Cooperation among nations enhances the effectiveness of targeted eliminations. This involves 1. Coordination of operations, sharing intelligence and resources for joint operations. 2. Examples. Multinational efforts against ISIS in Syria and Iraq. Risk management. Effective risk management is critical in high-stakes operations. This involves 1. Protecting operatives, ensuring the safety of personnel involved in operations. 2. Minimizing collateral damage, strategies to avoid harm to civilians and infrastructure. 3. Lessons learned, insights from past operations to improve future efforts. Chapter 3. Cutting off funding sources. Importance of financial disruption. Terrorist organizations rely on funding for their operations. Disrupting these financial flows can cripple their capabilities. Asset freezing. Freezing the assets of terrorists and their supporters is a key strategy. This involves 1. Legal frameworks, Utilizing international laws to freeze assets. 2. Processes and challenges. The complexities of tracking and freezing assets globally. 3. Case studies. Successful examples of asset freezing disrupting terrorist activities. Economic sanctions. Economic sanctions can pressure state sponsors of terrorism. This involves 1. Implementation and enforcement. Strategies for imposing and enforcing sanctions. 2. Impact of sanctions. How sanctions have affected state and non-state actors supporting terrorism. 3. Examples. Sanctions against Iran and their impact on its support for terrorist groups. Monitoring financial pathways. Tracking financial transactions is crucial. This involves 1. Techniques and tools. Using advanced technologies to monitor financial flows. 2. Success stories. Instances where financial monitoring has led to the disruption of terrorist activities. International financial collaboration. Global financial cooperation is essential. This involves 1. Role of organizations. Entities like the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, in countering terrorist financing. 2. Examples. Successful international efforts to disrupt terrorist funding. Chapter 4. Diplomatic and Ground Operations. Diplomatic efforts. Diplomacy plays a critical role in counter-terrorism. This involves 1. Applying diplomatic pressure. Strategies for pressuring countries that support terrorism. 2. Political isolation. Efforts to isolate state sponsors of terrorism. 3. Case studies. Diplomatic successes in reducing terrorist support. Ground raids. Ground raids are necessary to destroy terrorist infrastructure. This involves 1. Planning and execution. Detailed strategies for successful raids. 2. Training and equipment. Preparing forces for ground operations.
3. Case studies.
Successful ground raids, such as those conducted by special forces in Syria. Use of special forces. Special forces are crucial for high-risk operations. This involves 1. Deployment and utilization. Strategies for deploying special forces. 2. Training and capabilities. Ensuring special forces are well prepared and equipped. 3. Examples. Successful operations by units like the Navy SEALs and SAS. Takurfi. Establishing control. Maintaining control in liberated areas is essential. This involves 1. Strategies for stability. Ensuring stability post-operation. 2. Importance of post-operation control. Preventing terrorist resurgence. 3. Lessons learned. Insights from previous operations to improve future stability efforts. Conclusion. The elimination of fundamentalist Arab terrorist mechanisms in Western countries is a multifaceted challenge that requires a comprehensive strategy. By integrating intelligence gathering, targeted eliminations, financial disruption, and diplomatic and ground operations, it is possible to create a more secure and stable world. Each chapter of this plan provides a thorough analysis, historical context, case studies, and forward-looking insights to ensure a holistic and effective counter-terrorism strategy. This approach not only addresses the immediate threats posed by terrorism, but also lays the groundwork for long-term peace and stability. Summary. The global threat posed by fundamentalist Arab terrorist groups necessitates a well-coordinated, multifaceted strategy for their eradication. drawing parallels with the successful crime reduction strategy employed by the President of El Salvador. This plan advocates for a similar approach against terrorism. It emphasizes the need for intelligence gathering, targeted eliminations, financial disruption, and international cooperation to effectively combat terrorism. The rationale for this comprehensive strategy includes enhancing global security, protecting innocent lives, fostering economic stability, and upholding human rights. Additionally, it highlights the importance of international cooperation and the moral imperative to combat terrorism. Chapter 1 focuses on the importance of intelligence gathering, outlining the role of technological surveillance, financial tracking, and human intelligence in identifying and neutralizing terrorist threats. Chapter 2 details the necessity of targeted eliminations through special operations, precision airstrikes, and international cooperation, emphasizing the importance of risk management in high-stakes operations. Chapter 3 discusses the significance of cutting off funding sources for terrorist organizations, including asset freezing, economic sanctions, and monitoring financial pathways. It also highlights the importance of international financial collaboration. Chapter 4 covers diplomatic and ground operations, including applying diplomatic pressure, conducting ground raids, and utilizing special forces. It also stresses the need for maintaining control in liberated areas to prevent the resurgence of terrorism. In conclusion, the comprehensive strategy for the eradication of fundamentalist Arab terrorist mechanisms in Western countries requires a coordinated effort involving intelligence gathering, targeted eliminations, financial disruption, and diplomatic and ground operations. By implementing this strategy, it is possible to create a more secure and stable world, addressing immediate threats and laying the groundwork for long-term peace and stability.